Hey guys, let's talk about this new custom creation pedal board that we just did with this PBC10 Goodwood audio interfacer. Let's go. Alright, so starting off real simple, we're going into the wah, and then the wah is going to go into the PBC unit. So going from there, talking over the loops, this is going to be the presets page. Volume loop and the send and return for either a demo or to do an effects loop with an amp is all going to be coming out of the interfacer with an audition box underneath with a little audition switch and power jack on the side for if he wants to either audition a pedal, he can click it and do it, or he can actually run 4-cable method or 5-cable method since it's stereo out to some amps and effects loops. But to start things off, we'll make it really simple. We'll just talk about page 1 first and go from there. So page 1 is really simple because it's the presets page. So we have a couple different functions all down here. These are all presets. As you can see with the Midi stuff, it will send different Midi PCs. This is a global. So if if there's one sound you're always going to want, you set up as a global. I have a whole link on preset songs and set list, a whole video talking over that, which I'll link right here, and then you can watch that as well. That's what I use my global for. But these are the first 5 presets of this bank. We can hit bank up and go to bank 2, 3, all the way, and then bank down, go down. The cool thing about presets is you can build presets into songs in the set list. So instead of it saying bank 1, it could have a song name. This mute right here is going to do 2 functions. One, you're going to hit it and you're going to be able to mute. So then you can go ahead and tune really easily, and it will give you a plus and minus of what you need to be tuned. Switches, really simple. Takes you to your switches / MIDI page. These 3 up here are going to be your buffers. This will be your dry. These are going to be your Mercury 7 up and down. So left is up, right is down. So we got blue, white for the poly, and yellow for the enzo. We can just hit that to go back to home. Hitting the same switch, loops, will take us to our loops. So because the Mercury 7 is post RJM, we have programmed a MIDI CC number to actually turn it on. So this is bypassed. This is with it on. In that same circumstance, you could literally just do that and it'll be off because it is post. But we have it programmed to where the switcher can actually turn things on and off to make it a lot more simpler for you. Going through the loops, now that we're on the loops page, these don't mean bank up and down. I know it can get confusing, but when you go into the loops page, they do change to these L's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Because loop 6 isn't being used, we did switch that to be the Mercury 7, which will, as you see, MIDI CC turn it on. Going on loop 1, we have the fuzz, which is underneath here. So when you turn on your board, there'll be a few of these pedals you'll have to turn on. So we got the fuzz. Moving on, loop 2 will be the enzo. So as soon as you engage the enzo, the light will come on. The cool thing with Midi too is if you want to change something, you just hit the switch again, you can actually go up and change the type of sound. And then you can turn it off. Super cool. Interesting sound, that's for sure. Loop 3 is going to be the cranker, which is going to be this guy right here. I do want to mention too, we are running the Strymon Iridium for our sounds for our amp and cab sound today. Metal Zone is going to be the next guy. compressor right here. Moving on up, we got the phaser, which is in the 7th loop, wired from mono, so he can do effects loop routing with it. Moving on up, we got loop 8, we got the chorus, which we will make sure is on. Alright, moving on. We got the poly. As you see, it's changed. It turned on. We can also go here and change the sound. That's a lot for me. Cool thing is if you put these in parallel or series in parallel, when you turn off the switch, the trails will continue. Just when they're in series, trails do not continue. So if that's something you want to do, it's easy to do in the editor. And then we got the halo. Alright, so moving on from there, as you can see, hitting the switch takes you up again to the switches page if you ever need to tweak on the fly. Left is up, right is down, blue, white, and yellow correspond to the 3 mirrors pedals as well as your buffers. So as you can hear without buffers, you can add a buffer, add all 3, if input, middle, and end. We'll talk about how to build a preset next. Alright, building a preset is really simple. I typically just start by suggesting to pick a preset. So I always pick a preset. Let the loop switch. We'll go up. We will then hit any switches that we want on. It could be the reverb, like the Mercury. It could be the halo, the poly, whatever we want on. We'll turn these on. But obviously that's not the reverb sound that we want. So we'll go up to the next page and we will find the sound that we want. We'll go with that sound. Halo is not MIDI, so we don't have any changes we can do. All we have to do is hold this foot switch down for about 2 seconds. It'll store it, hit it again, go back to home, and it'll be saved. So now if we go to preset 2, there's nothing. We'll go to preset 1. So as you can tell, there's nothing there. If we were to hit a preset 2, we'll go to preset 1. And that's it. That's how to build a preset. Connecting to the computer is really simple. We'll also talk over that next. Alright, so next, connecting to the computer is actually quite simple. All you need is a USB A to B cable. I have a newer MacBook, so I need an adapter to go to USB-C. Depending on your computer, you just plug it in. Once you plug it in, you want to take the port and plug it in right here. Once it clicks in, you'll want to pull up this Mastermind Editor software. Come up here, hit transfer. You want to go up to connect to device. Once you've connected to device, it'll tell you what version you're on. You hit OK. And you always want to read settings from device. Awesome. It'll take probably 20-30 seconds to read it. Basically, the rule of thumb is this. If you make changes on the board and you want to do it on the computer, you need to read settings. If you make changes at the computer and you want to put it onto the board, you do write settings or changes. So if you're doing like a bunch of settings, then you need to like completely hit reset and do a write settings. If you built a preset, then you would do changes. So from there, you can see your different devices, buttons, as well as button location, as well as button color, everything. You can rename it, you can double click, you can change the name. There's a lot of stuff you can do. But the editor really shines with the presets, songs, and set list, which I said I had a video, which I will link, and then you can be able to watch it. But this will just go over everything. So this is where you can build your preset song set list. When you're done, you just go over to the global, select that set list, and then you want to write changes to device. It'll quickly change. You'll be good to go. You can easily change a preset. So look at that, preset 1. We'll go over there. It says preset 1 right now. But if we were to click it, we could just say demo 1. Put in all caps. So now, when we transfer that change, it says demo 1. And that's it. That's how you use the editor. If you have any questions, drop a comment below, shoot us an email or a message on Instagram. Have a good one.